Hey everybody, welcome back to the Thursday Financial Thing live stream. We have a new background, red today, because the FTSE 100 was in the red by 0.5%. So I thought, why not? Good to switch it up, but I think we're going to have to go green. You know, green, a little bit nicer on the eyes. Like to change it up sometimes, but thanks to everybody for tuning in today. We have some good information to go through. We got peer-to-peer lending news. We're going to look at some statistics on peer-to-peer lending platforms today. Something I like to do every once in a while is just kind of go through some of the peer-to-peer lending platforms I invest through and take a look at their statistics and see how the numbers stack up. So we're going to do that today. I'm going to be looking at the Loanpad. We're going to do a Loanpad update because we haven't done that in a while. It's been a few weeks. Do a Trading 212 update. Got some cryptocurrency news I think is important this week. Actually, one very big piece of news that I think is something to really watch out for, very positive. And we're going to talk about some of the possible cryptocurrency plays that you could make if you are a very risk-tolerant person. Which I have to say, over the last 6 years of doing this blog, I've become a lot more risk-tolerant. I would say erring on the side of being a lot more risky than when I started out in peer-to-peer lending in 2015. Some of that has been a detriment, but some of it has paid off really well. I think entry into the cryptocurrency space is something that I probably wouldn't have done 10 years ago. Well, I obviously didn't do it, so yes, I wouldn't have done it, but now become a little bit more risk tolerant as I've understood more of the fundamentals, economics, and what's going on in the global world economy. So some important things to note in the cryptocurrency world. But thank you to everybody, and thank you to Kuflink, a sponsor of this show. Again, if you have not signed up for Kuflink, you're a new investor, you can get up to $4,000. $4,000. I mean, they're just going to give you $4,000 as long as you meet their investment requirements. Up to $4,000 cash back on your first investments. Do read the terms and conditions because there are conditions to that offer, which is a very generous offer. And remember, it is not FSCS protected. This is an investment, so your capital is at risk. So you can go to join.kuflink.com/financial-thing. Go to the Financial Thing website. Please hit the thumbs up for today's stream if you can. Get that out of the way. I appreciate. Really helps out a lot with the way that the Google system works. Don't ask me. It's all YouTube and Google code. But all I know is that when you hit that thumbs up button, it seems to work better for my videos. So if you can do that, I very much appreciate it. And one other thing too, this week I was going to ask for your feedback on who would you like to see on the stream as a guest. I know we've done over the last few years, we've had a lot of guests. We've had Loanpad, Crowd Property, Assets Capital, Bland, some other people, and I'm just we also had Landy, not live, but sorry about that. But back in the early days when I was just starting out doing this, I did talk to the people at Landy. Tried to get Money Thing on, was denied. Tried to get Funding Secure on, was denied. So interesting. But yeah, who would you like to see here in front of you? And I will see if I can make that happen. I've done interviews with Capital Rise. Thanks for the thumbs down. I appreciate that. We've done a ton of videos. If you go to the YouTube channel or the website, you'll see all the videos, the interviews. But let me know who you would like to get on, and I will try to do as good as a job I can to get them on here, because I want to interview some new people. So I was thinking maybe, again, easy money, maybe folk to folk, maybe landlord invest, maybe Shojin. I don't know. Again, those are not companies I invest in myself, but if something you'd like to see them in front of us, answering some questions, I will be happy to try to make that happen. Say a quick hi to everybody who is here. If you want to ask a question, put it in the comment section. As always, we'll do a Q&A at the end. Alan Stratford here in Melbourne, Stephen Hale, Nottingham, Paul Bagworth in Kenilworth, Alan Lomas in Chesterfield, Colin in the Peak District, George Batchelor from Bridlington, nice to see you, John Morgan from a windy Swindon, Mike in Sutton, Southampton, Accrington, of course home to the famous Aki Chat, Mr. Bitcoin himself, Peter, Vince, Leatherhead. We have Mem from London, and Brian Foreman is here. Yeah. Comment, can you try money thing again? Yeah, probably not going to happen. In fact, I think, was it? Oh no, I did try to get the house crowd. I tried to get Fraser to come on, but I think once the company has gone into administration, it's going to be very difficult to get them on the stream. I don't think they're going to want to answer questions. And legally, I would imagine they're very limited to what they can say for the administration process. So I will try, but I don't think that's going to happen. We got Oliver Jones here from Steeple Aston. That just sounds like a place where the Queen would live. Steeple Aston. I have no idea what that is. Welcome to the stream, Oliver. Nice to see you. Mike says, I was going to suggest Chica Boy and Hour on Hobnobs. I haven't even... Chica Boy hasn't been here in a while. I don't know. Maybe he's not a fan of the stream anymore. That's okay. Anyway, and also you can see at the bottom, if you want to become a Patreon supporter, support the channel, you can scan that little code with your phone. It will take you right to Patreon. For as little as 1 cup of Starbucks a month, you can support the Financial Thing channel and the cause. And I appreciate everybody that has signed up to do that. So let's get to it. We're going to do a little bit of news. And this is recovery loan scheme deadline to be extended, a 6-month extension to the recovery loan scheme. The reason this is important is because this really is a good barometer of what's going on economically in the UK. A lot of companies who took these loans out are going to have trouble paying them back. We know that the economy in the UK, the US, and globally is really in the toilet. Even though you will see some positive news out there occasionally about what's going on. But the reality is we are in some dire straits times. And I don't know if you've noticed it, but when you go to the supermarket, at least I've noticed it, things are just getting more expensive. The price of oil has gone up. Petrol prices have gone up. Everything is going up. This is not transitory inflation like the government would love you to believe. So this recovery loan scheme extended, no surprise there. Crowdlords, this is a funny story. Crowdlords reports profit following closure of its platform. Peer-to-peer finance news must really be looking for news stories because they reported Crowdlords made a profit of £7,498 for 12 months, despite closing the platform to new investment in August 2020. So they're really newsworthy, right? £7,400 profit for Crowdlords. Thought that was funny. Here you go. The peer-to-peer lending investment report. I always like to just read through this when it comes out. This was a pretty interesting article that which are the biggest peer-to-peer lending platforms in the UK. This is a top 10. Funding circle 8.3 billion. And this is the total loan book value since inception. So this is the total amount of loans. Zopa 5.6 billion. Assets capital 1.4 billion. Number 3 spot. Folk to Folk 479 million. Then we got LendingWorks number 5 231 million. Crowd Property 163 million. Kuflink 148 million pounds. Archover 144 million pounds. Propland 139 million. Capital Rise 122 million. So interesting. Top 10 that would have had RateSetter in here in the top 3, but obviously they have closed their doors to retail peer-to-peer lending. But some of the ones that personally I invest in are on here. Assets Capital, Kuflink, Crowd Property, LendingWorks, which again I'm sort of on my way out of that, but interesting to see the top 10. You can read that if you are a subscriber to Peer-to-Peer Lending News. or finance news. Very interesting. 9 in 10 Brits are investing outside of the UK. No surprise here. I've been saying it for a while that FTSE 100 has drastically underperformed other parts of the world for a really, really long time. That's why I look to the US. Other people look to Asia. Some people globally. But now people are waking up, especially the younger investors who now have access to these apps like Trading 212, where they can buy shares in Tesla or Apple, some of the US companies. Also tracker funds outside of the UK. But this survey says 75% of investors see more potential in overseas investments over the coming year. 30% have decreased their holdings in UK-based equities over the past year, while 65% said they've increased their positions in foreign investments or cryptocurrencies following the 2006 Brexit referendum. I think what happens, some of the old school mentality of investing has always been put your money where you live, right? If you're a UK resident, put your money in these stocks like Shell, British Petroleum, all of the Rolls-Royce, and all of these old school UK very popular shares. And now that's starting to change as investors sort of take control of their own investing, become less reliant on financial advisors. Now, there are still some opportunities in UK companies. Don't get me wrong, I have a couple in the portfolio on Trading 212, but few and far between, I would say, if you're looking for real growth. People are starting to realize that you want to be looking outside of the UK to do that, unless you're a very advanced investor who can identify maybe some small cap companies, which is difficult to do. And for the majority of us, we don't really tend to delve too much into the numbers and hunt for really small cap companies that could explode. Peer-to-peer scam victims urge FCA to hire a very different kind of chair. So investors in Clap's peer-to-peer lending platform have urged the city regulator to hire a different kind of chair on replacing outgoing Charles Randall. Sounds like somebody that would be in a position of power. Following several scandals, including lending collateral, funding secure, and lending capital and finance. So he will step down, Mr. Randall, in spring of 2022. So they're trying to get, everybody is urging for somebody maybe a little bit more sense, maybe a little bit more progressive to step into that position, which I don't know if that would make any difference or not. I think a scam is a scam. These people at the FCA are not maybe in position to really recognize whether a peer-to-peer company is acting fraudulently. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. So they want some new blood in that position, people are asking for. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And let's go ahead and check out kind of what hold on one second. Let me go ahead and log in to Loanpad. I don't want to log in front of everybody. You'll see my information. Just want to show you what's going on in the loan book. Loanpad is one of my preferred peer-to-peer lending companies that I think is really positioned well right now, and they seem to just grow from strength to strength. So I haven't looked at this in a while. I believe the last time we looked at the live loan number here in the platform, we were a little bit under 100 loans. So you can see here there's a big uptick in loans up to 118, which shows that Loanpad is just growing in the right direction, which we want to see. 41.9 million pounds of loans now. Total loan value of 88.1 million. Total lending partner loans 46.1. So that means Loanpad puts in 41.9. The lending partners have put in 46.1. We still have an average loan to value at 41%, which is great. And total security value of 102 million pounds. So Loanpad again, 41.9 million pounds of exposure based on total security value of 102 million pounds. I'm not sure you could be in much of a better position as a lender to be right there. And more importantly, again, the liquidity still continues to be less than less than 1 day. We have a total of 7 lending partners now. This was added. I don't know when they put in this number of lending partners, but I see that's new. And the ICF is still one loan, still considered to be in default. So that's on the book still. So really good numbers from Loanpad. Haven't looked at that in a while. Now, speaking about statistics, so that peer-to-peer lending report that showed who's the top 10, who's the biggest. I always tell people who are looking to sign up to peer-to-peer lending companies or any investment company, you should go to the statistics page, kind of look at what the numbers are on a platform. And it's kind of easy to figure out if you know how to look at accounting numbers. You can go to Companies House. You can look at the filing reports, see how much revenue a peer-to-peer lending company is making. I think it's important to look at profits, losses, see how much cash burn is going out. But you can really run some rough numbers and see what kind of financial shape that one of these peer-to-peer companies is actually in. So if we imagine we look at, say, Loanpad right here, they have a statistics page. Not really a ton of statistics. We have the total live loan amounts down here, and then the total lender participation. So some basic information, 0 capital losses to date. But we could do some rough numbers on how much a company might be making if we knew the percentages they were running on. So for instance, if Loanpad has a £50 million loan book, and let's say they're making 1% on their total loan book amount, you can pretty much figure out that that's about £500,000 a year. So you could do some rough calculations, maybe if you know how big the staff is, what their office space size is like, and say, are they really making money, or are they still in a loss position? Sometimes those percent numbers change because some companies make a lot more than 1% of their total loan book. When they write loans, they may have a 5% fee. But we could do some rough calculations if we know some simple statistics about these companies. And usually what it equates to is a larger loan book is going to mean more revenue for a company. Obviously, somebody like Funding Circle has funded £8 billion in loans is going to have more revenue coming in than a smaller lender that has a £10 million loan book. And incidentally, that £10 million seems to be about where a peer-to-peer lending company needs to get to be starting to turn a profit. Now, again, it depends. If some of these big London-based peer-to-peer companies have got huge office spaces with 50 staff, that number wouldn't be 10 million. But for a smaller company, maybe with just a few staff members, 10 million pounds seems to be that baseline number that peer-to-peer lending companies try to get to as quickly as possible. By the way, we're having a storm here, so I don't know if it's very dark right now outside. If for some reason the power goes out, we get a power cut. Apologies, not much I can do about that. It's just some things that happen. We do have a backup battery on the system here, but if for some reason it goes out, sorry, not much I can do about that. Anyway, back to Loanpad. So you can see, again, statistics. So we're going to go through a couple of companies. Here is Crowd Property Statistics. Again, not really a great statistics page. And some of these peer-to-peer companies don't even have a statistics page. Some of them are a lot more in depth. But you can see here, property funded £346 million, lent £161 million. So again, some basic statistics that we can probably run some basic math. Now here, as we scroll down here, yes, I just said there wasn't detailed statistics. There are. Apologies, Mike Bristow. I need to scroll a little bit more. But if you want to look at the statistics, you can. On Crowd Property, you can see here that the originations, what you want to see in a healthy peer-to-peer company is these originations increasing each year. And you can see from 2015, when they first started at Crowd Property at £2.2 million of originations, 2021 year to date, we're up to 77 million. So a big uptick in growth, even from 2019 when it was a 39 million pound origination year for them. That's a really good sign of growth. Up to 53 million, 2020, 77 million. So that's what you want to see. You want to see this number of loans increasing. You want to see the total origination, total amount of loan monies lent increasing over the years. That's good growth. You can see total current market value, 60%. That's loan to current market value. The lower this number is, usually the better. And 180 late days for the last couple of years. A really great sign. 0 defaults, 1% in anticipated default. So a lot of statistics here on Crowd Properties page you can look at. Blend Network. They've got a 31 million pounds of funding so far. So a smaller, again, Blend, a smaller company, but they also have a very small staff. I've been up there. Their expenses are low, which is what you like to see in a peer-to-peer lending company. But you can see, again, if we look at growth from 2017, 3 loans originated, and up to 2020 was their high point. 24 loans originated, and it's kind of slipped a little bit, but they'll probably, I would imagine, get over that 24 number. So it's still growing, but 2020 was a difficult year, and they still continued to write loans. Again, look at these numbers down here. Default rate, actual arrears, 0% all the way through. The only default that was appearing on here was in 2018, and that was a 4.5% default rate, but probably only just one loan. Again, a little bit light on the statistics here, but there are some more statistics here in this outcome statement, which is they have a 2020 outcome statement to 21. Let's see what that says. So here, if you want to get really deep into Blend's outcomes, you can do that right here. They have a lot more numbers, so you can click the outcome statements down here. Let's look at assets capital. It's a little small. You enlarge that for you. You can see the originations starting back in 2013 were 9 million. So they started off with a good origination year on their first year. And then you can see 18 was their high point, 292 million pounds of originations. And then this drop off to 19, 247 million, and then 46 million in 2020. That was everything really paused. And 2020, 46 million. That was when assets put the brakes on lending and focused purely on CBILS lending. You can see in 2021 only originated 8 million. But you're going to see more loan originations coming in 2022. Again, keeping a watchful eye on what's going on with their default rates, because they've had some pretty rough years. I mean, if you look at this number of 2016, they had a 32.6 actual default rate, which is kind of insane. And then look at these early years: 53.4, 33.4, 32.6, 15.4 in 2017, and then a drop off. So we'll see what happens with assets' default rate, but the actual losses were not really that bad, even during these really high years. 6.1% actual loss. So not terrible, but we'll see what happens. They have a good statistics page. So if you want to go and dive into assets capital, you can do that on their statistics page. Just Google assets capital statistics. Here is Propland, again, company that I do not invest in. They have 140 million pounds of total loans funded, and pretty good statistics here. Look at this. From 2014, they originated 3 loans all the way up to 2020, up to 27. 2019 was a high year for them, 38 loans funded, again, pre-COVID. But pretty good. I mean, 81 loans repaid, we've only seen a total of £311 of lender losses, with only 2 loans that went 180 days past maturity. So really, really good numbers. And you can see statistics here if you want to look at PropLend. There's definitely one of the companies I would probably invest in if I had some extra funds at the moment. But we do not. Here is LendInvest. They, I haven't been able to find the statistics. They used to have it on the when you logged in, but I couldn't find it for some reason. So there's really no statistics on the front page of LendInvest, which is a shame. You would like to see a company putting those statistics out there for all to see, but LendInvest is a big company, over £3 billion lent. They just seem to be going from strength to strength. Here's Kuflink. Kuflink has some pretty good statistics on its page. I actually was one of the people that really asked them to provide these statistics for a while. They didn't have it easily found. So you can see here, total amount less invested, £146 million. And their originations have really increased a lot too. You can see from 2016, where we started at 10 originations, all the way up to 2017, where it just jumped to 49. So they had a big year. And then really consistent since 2019, 90 loans, 87 in 2020, 87 in 2021. I think they'll probably be over 90 by the end of the year. Yeah, really good as far as growth goes. And see what we are. Percentage of loans repaid late. Actually, really, really normal in the bridging and property lending department for things to go late. It's just normal for things to overrun. But let's see if they have any other interesting statistics here. Here's the active loan book. Average gross loan to value 40%. It's pretty good. Percent of loans repaid late, 16.3%. Now this is interesting. First charge versus second charge. I've always said to you, I do not like second charge loans, and Narendra said we don't really write second charge loans anymore. You can see here, first charge 83.5%, second charge loan 16.5%. So go to Kuflink's page if you want to check out their statistics. And what else we got? Unbolted. Yeah, I couldn't find any statistics on Unbolted. Just really a few basic things here. £5 million plus of interest paid. 1.5 million recovered through the sale of assets. They're really good at recovery, asset recovery. If you're an Unbolted investor, you get emails all the time saying that loans have been recovered. But no real statistics on their website, which is disappointing. So maybe that's something they will add in the future. So yeah, statistic pages on these peer-to-peer lending companies, pretty important, I think, to have for us to be able to see those things. Let's check out the Trading 212 portfolio and see where we are at the moment. We are fully invested right now, fully risk on. And in the investment world, we have two terms, risk on, risk off. When we move into a sector that is not, or move out of a sector that's not performing, we're risk off. When we move into a sector that's doing well, we're risk on. So really fully risk on at the moment. And portfolio has done well. Still continues around 15,000. We're having some pullback in the oil this week. I think it's some pressure on oil prices. WTI crude was about $85 a barrel. Now it's down to 81. I wouldn't be surprised if it dips under 80 at the moment. I think Shell sold their US oil and gas to, is it Conoco this week? So some interesting moves by them. Let's look at the portfolio. If you are watching this in the future, maybe you don't know, but I took a percentage of the profits of the portfolio and made a donation, which is what I plan to do in the future. Whatever I can make on this portfolio, we use a percentage for donations to good causes. But we've had some good runs here with Centrus Energy up 83.26%. So this portfolio very heavy in oil, and also moved kind of into the crypto mining section, Clean Spark Energy. I thought there were some opportunities there. I thought it was priced pretty low at the time. That's gone up 30%. Comstock Energy down 4.8%. Diamondback Energy about 2%. Facebook, this has not been a real winner so far, minus 8.2%. This is going to be more a long-term hold. I still think Facebook is going to do very well in the long run. Good opportunity to buy at a discount if you want one of those big blue chip shares. Flex Energy in the red, about 1%. Hut 8 Mining, again, another cryptocurrency miner, up 53%. These mining stocks seem to do very well, obviously, when cryptocurrency prices are high. The miners are making more money on their crypto sales when they mine it and then sell it on the market. So their profits are going to increase, and I fully expect at least Bitcoin and the price of Ethereum to continue to rise. So these miners are going to profit off of that. Laredo, 62% in the green, great result. Has, again, some pressure. We are up 0.9%, but over the last month, definitely some pressure. We're about 10% down on the month. Lloyds Bank, look at this, back up to 94% in the green. So maybe selling off those Lloyds shares wasn't a great move, but oh well, profit is profit. Microvision has been the stinker of the portfolio, down almost 60%. This was a very risky short play. It didn't work out, but again, we didn't really have much in there. A little bit less than 500 pounds. Occidental Petroleum up 18%. Olin up 22%. Very small holding. Palantir, this was down about 8 or 9% at one point, and then I ended up buying in more when the price had dropped. So this is 1.3% in the red. This is an artificial intelligence company I think is going to do really well in the future. Tullow Oil, the UK, the little UK company, small cap, is struggling again. We are down 15% on this one and down 11% in the last month, 2.77% in the last 3 months, and down 4% today because of the pressure in oil. That's a long-term hold. Again, I think they're going to do well when earnings reports start to come out on these oil companies. I think we're going to see some good profits on those. And then Vermilion Energy, this one's up 48%. Again, energy, oil, I think will continue to do well. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see a correction, in the markets in general, maybe a 10% pullback. There just is a lot of things going on economically that wouldn't surprise me to see a pullback. And so I don't think it's unwise to sit into some cash. I don't know if you can hear that, but the rain is absolutely just falling like it's raining cats and dogs. Here, it really is. So let's look at the crypto markets too. For anybody that's interested in cryptocurrency, I suggest you do not ignore this space anymore. And I'm going to tell you some important news that came out, why you don't want to ignore this space. But Bitcoin up 3.6% today. We're sitting about $60,244. We've had an interesting 7-day where you can see we've had some pretty big swings, 63,000 all the way down here to 59, 58. I think was a good buying point. Unfortunately, I missed it. That was kind of my price target, was a little bit less than 60,000, but even at 60,000, not a bad buying price. So you go, you just seen it dip down to 59,000. Market cap, $1.1 trillion of market cap now, Bitcoin. And the total market cap, $2.5 trillion total of cryptocurrency. We have over 13,289 cryptocurrency coins, which the majority of those are, I would not look at them. They're absolute garbage, rubbish, whatever you want to say. Interesting what's been happening this week. Shiba Inu, this one of these meme coins, has absolutely exploded and has entered the top 10. So this is a meme coin that actually does have some use case, very much like Dogecoin, which doesn't have any use case, zero at the moment, other than being pushed by somebody like Elon Musk, which his power is starting to decrease. But Shiba Inu now, this token is a $37 billion market cap. So imagine that. There's $37 billion worth of Shiba Inu out there, which is insane. I mean, this is absolutely insane numbers, and you see it's been fluctuating just wild in the last 7 days. We were down here at 0.000027, and at its high point 0.00087, so quadrupled in the period of a week. And again, this coin does have some usage right now. They have a decentralized exchange where you can actually take your Shiba Inu coins and trade them for other coins, and some places are starting to take this coin as a payment, but expect to see massive volatility. If you like to have a gamble, this is not a bad coin to do it on. You could do well. Unfortunately, it's not really a good time to be coming in when things have peaked up at the top. Right here, you're better off obviously being down in this area, but here was a buying opportunity down here, I think at 57 with 4 zeros in front of it. One other coin, and it's possible to identify coins like this again. There's so many of them out there, but really these coins are all about marketing. If they're marketed well and they get in front of people, then it's like a snowball network effect where people get on board, and then you just get people coming in. People are outflowing out of Dogecoin into coins like this. Here's another coin that I think might be one that really explodes. This Floki Inu, which is a sort of offshoot of Shiba Inu, which is an offshoot of Dogecoin. But they are advertising this coin on London buses. You can see right here. This is the kind of thing that will make one of these coins explode. And they're not easy to buy. This is one of the problems, because some of these coins are not listed on places like Coinbase and Binance, which actually is not a bad thing, because once they do get listed on these big exchanges, then the price tends to just skyrocket. So if you're willing to take a bit of a gamble and you can figure out how to buy these coins on a decentralized exchange, I probably should do a tutorial about that. I don't think there's anything wrong with having a little bit of a flutter on it, putting in a couple of £100, seeing what happens. I mean, if it 100x's, 10x's, you're going to make some money. But I would definitely not bet everything on that. Nigeria has launched its first African digital currency. This is a big deal. I posted this on Facebook. It went live on October 25th, making the country of nearly 220 million homes. It was the far and away the largest central bank digital coin release. Now, Nigeria is one of these countries where they really rely on cryptocurrency. A lot of people who don't live in Nigeria, they emigrate and they send money back home. And what they're finding is it's very expensive to wire transfer money through the banks or Western Union or one of these money transfer services, and it's slow. It can take anywhere from a week to or a few days to a week. What they're doing is buying things like Bitcoin, transferring it over. It's much cheaper to send, and it's fast. They can get it in 30 minutes or less. And now with this central bank digital currency that Africa and Nigeria has launched, what you're going to see is legitimacy, a credit to the fact that digital currencies are going to be the future of what people use to pay for things. Now this is going to be tied to, obviously it'll be a stable coin that's tied to their I think it's called the Naira. It's called the e-Naira. But believe me, this is just the beginning. And once more and more of these countries legitimize digital currencies, then people will start to look at things like Bitcoin as a way to invest, knowing that digital currencies are actually a legitimate thing. And I fully expect other African countries will follow suit. You're going to see more and more of these countries releasing that news going forward. Disney is dropping an NFT. Why do you care about that? Because NFT is based on Ethereum. Most of the platforms are using Ethereum. And when huge companies like Disney are releasing NFTs, again, legitimizing where we are in cryptocurrency. I always said this to you, you're early in the game. Now you're starting to see massive companies doing things to put emphasis on NFTs, which are non-fungible tokens, which personally, I still don't understand them. I don't know why anybody would want to pay for something digital that you could literally take a screenshot and own. But, you know, some people, collector's editions, I guess I don't really understand art either. If somebody wants to pay $1 million or pounds for a piece of artwork, you can hold it in your hands, yes, but it's all, you know, subjective as to what something is worth. But you can see here, Disney dropping NFTs. We've got the WWE, so the World Wrestling Entertainment, the WWF, home to Hulk Hogan, those old school professional wrestlers that we used to love. They're launching an NFT marketplace. I mean, this is so big. This is going to really explode the price of the cryptocurrency where this is going to be based on. We don't know which one, but things like Solana, Ethereum, Polygon, these are currencies and that are used through NFT marketplaces. And then El Salvador buying more cryptocurrency. Big deal. Again, they keep accumulating. They are the first country that is announced they are using cryptocurrency as payment systems for their people. At just the start, you're going to see other countries come on board. And then this is probably the most important piece of news that I saw this week. As you know, I'm not a fan of banks. I think banks are pretty criminal. They are. I mean, think about Lehman Brothers, what happened in 2008. We are in the position of being taken out financially because of banks. But having said that, U.S. regulators are exploring how banks could hold crypto assets. Huge piece of news here, because what's going to happen is banks are now seeing the value of cryptocurrency and they're going to hold it on their balance sheets. Of course, what happens when, you know, the big banks start doing that, then the bank customers are now looking at that going, oh, this is legitimate. This is a legitimate investment vehicle. If NatWest starts holding cryptocurrency on its balance sheet, you can only imagine what it's going to do to the price. So the FDIC chairman of the US, FDIC is like the equivalent of what FSCS is in the UK. They're the insurer of bank deposits. So the US officials are looking to provide a clear path for banks and their clients. Huge, yeah, this is very important. This is not just the bank. A clearer path for banks and their clients that are looking to hold cryptocurrencies in order to keep control over the fast developing assets. So what's going to happen? The banks are going to put it on their balance sheets. They're going to offer it to their clients as an investment vehicle, and particularly Bitcoin. People are not going to sell. They're going to hold on to it, and just the price is going to increase. The suppliers are going to become smaller, and I fully expect Bitcoin is going to outperform every other asset class out there over the next 10 years. There you go. That's my prediction. We'll see. You can come back in 10 years if I'm still here on this planet and say, you were right. We get the crystal ball out. We have to look at the crystal ball because it tells us everything. If you don't have any exposure to Bitcoin right now, I think it's a huge mistake. I do. Big mistake. With everything that's going on in this world, we are in global economic trouble. Having some separation from fiat currency, from central bank control, they control everything, is a good thing. You want to have some separation. There you go. That's what your Uncle Lawrence is telling you for this week. So that's the news. Hope that was of interest to you. If you liked it, hit the thumbs up. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. I don't know. And there's a lot of good news this week. Yeah. Mike says, get a administrator on. Who would you like to see on? Tell me. I would like to know. Paul New says, Rolls-Royce and their modular nuclear power plants are looking good. Let's look at Rolls-Royce stock. This is a stock my dad used to tell me was a great stock. And his financial advisor too. Just tell me. He's like, Rolls Royce. Yeah. Hang on. Let's have a look at Rolls Royce. I haven't looked at it in a long time. Wow. Poor Rolls Royce. Feel sorry for them. Look at this. We are lower now than we were in December 1st, 1996. So if your Charles Stanley advisor told you to buy Rolls Royce back in 96 and you held on to it, you would have lost a lot of years, 2 decades and more of any potential gains that you could have had putting that money somewhere else. We had a high point up here. I don't know if there was a split. 21.2. Now we're at 1.7. So maybe it's a good value now. I don't know. I don't delve too much into Rolls-Royce's stock, but even from 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we're down massively. Ugh. I think I'm looking at the right stock, right? Horrible. Be careful of what financial advisors tell you. You be careful. See if you have any comment. How long have we been going for? 51 minutes. Alan says Loanpad's margin is around 2%. Yeah, so again, we'd have to look at their filings on Companies House to see how much money we could estimate they're making. Get an administrator on. They earn $5,000 a day. I doubt they bother to spend time here with no pay. Maybe I'll offer them like some crypto. S. Connor says, Crowdlords stats are a joke. They have a huge number of loans in default but keep extending them, so showing as 0. Okay, so default is a strong word. Are they in default, or are they just extending them because of what's going on in finance, developing of property? I mean, overruns, we have COVID shutdowns. A lot of these companies are moving that, extending their loans. It's completely normal. I don't know if they're in default, strictly default. I can look into that. It's interesting, though. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong in extending a loan out. Yeah. If it's consensual and it's in the best interest of Crowd Property and the developer to extend that loan out, they're going to do that. The last thing you want to be doing is putting loans into legal default, chasing after them through the court system. It's expensive and it usually doesn't end well. Unbolt stats are Unbolted UK. Oh, why can't I copy that? Okay, I need to look at that. I want to look at the Unbolted stats. Now I have to type in the whole thing. Unbolted. Unbolted. See, when I Google Unbolted peer-to-peer statistics, it should show me. It should come up, and it doesn't. And I don't like that. I want to easily find the statistics. So if I'm on Unbolted's webpage, I should be able to find it very easily. And what am I missing here? There's no links. Where is it? Invest. See, loan. Here we go. See, that should, this right here. See, loan performance should be very easy to find in the link. I think at the bottom of the page or at the top here, but I missed it. Here we go. Here's the statistics. Thank you for posting that, by the way. Performance summary as of October 2021 4,865 loans with a cumulative loan amount of 33.5 million have been repaid. They had a default rate of 7.8% by number and 3.9% of value. They have recoveries been completed on 415 loans with a recovery rate of approximately 126% of net due to lenders. That's crazy. What good numbers. So that means for every pound that is in default, they've recovered £1 and 26.6p. So highest default rate, consumer loans against non-gold, no surprise. They only have one default in the high net worth and business loans. I thought that would have been higher. That was the one that I was more concerned about, was high net worth and business loans. I was not really concerned about gold because it's so easy to liquidate. So we got 171 consumer loans against gold and 9 in default. So those are pretty good numbers. I think Unbolted is doing a good job. They just kind of stick to what they know. I hope they continue that. So out of net amount due to lenders, 1.3 million pounds, they've had 1.6 million of net sales proceeds received. That's pretty good. So yeah, good job, Unbolted. Long may it last. Thanks for posting that, Alan. Appreciate that. Oliver said, what happened to Magnite? Magnite, we got out at the right time. Let's have a look. What did happen to Magnite? I forget when I sold Magnite. It was a long time ago. If I can find it. This is the one bad thing about trading 212. You can't search by your stock tickers. You just have to go through the transactions. It would have been like way early. Let's see here. National Grid. Oh, those are all, yeah. AT&T, Lloyd's Bank. All right, where are you, Magnite? Here, this is back when we started the portfolio. All these tech companies, AlterX, AbbVie. There was one of the Motley Fool recommendations that didn't really do well. Trade Desk, that was okay. Salesforce, that was one of mine. Fastly, oh god, I remember that one. That one was so up and down. Where is Magnite? We had Logitech. Where is Magnite? Royal Dutch Shell. Virgin Galactic. God. Oh, here you go. Magnite. 10th of November. We got that for $10.37. Was the price. Huh. It was a good buy. It was a good buying point. And then we bought more here, $13. Bought more here, $14. Just going in, $14 more here. More here, $17. Let's see when we begin to sell. Here we go. So November, and then we started selling out in February. Where are you? There we go. Sold out. Look at this, $52, 52 US dollars. So it was a good trade, and now we're down, I think, to 27. Do we have any more? Oh, here's more Magnite up here, $54. More sold here, $56. More sold, a big sell here at 44. So quadrupled. So let's look at Magnite, see where we are. I would actually go back into Magnite at the right price, probably 20 or between 15 and $20. So if we'd have been sitting on this stock, and this is the problem with stock picking, case in point, do you have the emotional ability when it's high to be able to sell when it's going up, which is what we did at the beginning of the trade when we started to sell Magnite when it was in the mid 50s. But you can see I waited on some of the other ones and sold at 44, so that was some profit that we could have made. But Hero at 27, it's not really been doing much for the last 3 months. 33, you'd be in a losing position for the last 3 months. This is why we should have sold everything. Sold a lot up here at 50 in the mid 50s, and then down here in the second dip. So I would say if it comes down into this area of 15, anywhere from maybe 15 to $20, it wouldn't be a bad pickup again, because I think they're gonna probably have a decent run, but not at this price, 27, unless you're trying to trade it, which I don't. So yeah, interesting. See if you have any more comments. That's what happened to Magnite, Oliver. It's raining hobnobs. It is. Hi Patty, nice to see you. Debbie at Mixed Media Arts, down in the Caribbean, I'm sure somewhere. Cayman Islands, how are you? How about getting Quadus or Axia Funder on? Let me write that down. If there's anybody that you want me to get on the stream, now is your chance to let me know, because I am going to send out some requests for some companies that I haven't had on here before. Axia. I've never even heard Quadus. Quarsus. Yeah, I'll write it down so I don't forget. I hope you're enjoying the stream tonight. It's kind of more of a casual thing. We did our wrap up. You can watch it back if you missed anything. Hit the thumbs up, please, if you can. Got 25 thumbs up. That's a good point, yeah. Obviously the stock is going to dump during COVID, Rolls-Royce. Do you want to take a gamble on it being it's so low right now? Maybe. I don't know. Debbie said, Bitcoin was 61,000 when I started the stream. In 5 minutes it dropped to 57.7. Is that right? Did it drop to 57.7? Damn, I missed it. I would have bought at 57.7. I think we're going to go 65 first week of November. We'll see. Patty says, Bland hung on to my money for 6 weeks. I withdrew it today and invested on etoro. What did you invest in? That would be interesting. Okay, another request for Quadus. Sounds like something from a Doctor Who show. Quadus. TARDIS. Okay, so we are just a little bit over an hour. I think we're going to wrap it up. We'll be back next week, Thursday. Again, please subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel. Helps me out a lot. Glad everybody's doing well. I'm really glad to see you here. Love all of you. Hope you have a successful week and enjoy your weekend. Be safe, be healthy out there, and see you next time. Take care.